Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show where a man completely immersed in anime culture torments his co-host, who is only allowed to watch the shows featured here. If you'd like to support the show, you can do so at patreon.com/animeoutofcontext. Alongside over 100 hours of exclusive bonus material, all episodes uploaded to Patreon are completely ad-free, even to non-patrons. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And I think about the qualifications of a cutesy serial killer.
I'm Remington Chase.
I'm Sean Rollins.
Oh, Sean, it's the best time of year.
Yeah, it is the time of year, isn't it? The time of year where I am in your shoes. Like, I am wearing your shoes at the moment, and let me just tell you, we have different size feet.
I hear the birds chirping. I hear the sun itself is beaming. Heaven is rejoicing. It's a beautiful, beautiful time. Sean, you seem less excited than I am.
Well, Rem, here's the thing. Like, it's a time of year where a lot of everybody who listens to our show looks forward to this time of year. And I'm happy to give them the content that they so heavily want and desire. And I'm sure that when this is all over, I'll be able to have some fun laughs and think fondly on the memories and enjoy, like, the pure happiness that we've provided our audience. But right now, it's a bit like, I don't know, walking into a bear cave covered in peanut butter. Like, it just doesn't seem like a great idea at the time.
Hey, baby, unless that's what you're into. For those who don't know exactly what's going on, if perhaps this is your first year listening to us, you haven't gone through the full backlog yet, this is the 12 Days of April Fools. For the third year in a row, it's a fortuitous event where April Fools and Christmas land on the same day. Absolutely miraculous. So today, it's just going to be a nice extra. It's just a fun little April Fool's episode. But here's the thing. Every day from this point on, we are going to be uploading a bonus video on Patreon. And so that is going to be 11 extra full-length April Fool's episodes. And here's the thing. If you haven't checked out the previous years, let me tell you, we've done the same thing. So that means that if somehow you have not got around to listening to them, that's over 30 bonus full-length April Fool's episodes. And boy, oh boy, they're wacky, they're zany, they're some of them are really out there.
Some of them have made me want to jump off of a bridge. And I now blame Remington for my reliance on antidepressants.
But this is an extra special 12 days for a few reasons. First of all, Sean, last year I gifted you something. I gave you a little Christmas gift that now you can fight back a little this year.
Yes.
I gave you a reverse Uno card, which means that for one day of these 12 days, you have to use it in part one. You have to use it in part one. But you can use it at any time in part one. You can say, no, whatever I am about to have you watch, instead, I have to watch. We come back in part two, I suffer. But here's the thing, that's a bit of a gamble. Do you use it at an extremely dangerous thing early on in the 12 days, but then risk something even worse coming? Or maybe you hold off and then are able to get that worst thing, or maybe that worst thing never comes, and then you just end up enduring the worst of it, continually waiting. It's a nice little gamble for you to make.
Yeah, and it sucks because, Remington, I know you very well, and I know the most fun and hilarious strategy for you is to put a couple of really nasty things front-loaded so that it baits me out, and then as soon as I use that reverse card, the true horrors await.
Or maybe that's what I want you to think.
This is a fuck situation.
Beautiful.
You are my jigsaw, and I don't want to give you my pound of flesh.
But, Sean, it's even more special than you might think.
How?
Because this 12 Days of April Fools, not only is April Fools on the same day as Christmas this year, but possibly the only time it'll happen in our lifetime, ladies and gentlemen. Halloween is happening on that same day.
What?
So we are going to have an extra spooky 12 days.
What?
That's right, we're celebrating April Fools, we're celebrating Christmas, we're celebrating Halloween itself. It's gonna be a great time of year. And with that, we get to day one, today's episode, where I have a simple question for you, Sean.
Oh,
In
God.
commemoration of Halloween being brought into the mix, trick or treat.
Wait a minute. This seems
Now-
familiar. This seems, this feels oddly reminiscent of something that happened last Halloween. Weird.
How
Interesting.
curious, how curious. I want to be abundantly clear, Sean,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
because you might think that I'm playing some fucky mind games with you,
Yeah.
right? And that'd be fair. That'd be fair. You look at the history of April Fool's episodes, there's a lot of that. I am being so upfront and honest with you. If you choose trick, you'll get a trick. If you choose treat, you'll get a treat. I'll be even more upfront. I won't tell you exactly what each of those will lead to, but I'll give you the IMDb ratings of the two options. All right?
Okay.
So if you choose treat, you will be watching a movie that has 7.9 out of 10 on IMDb. Pretty damn solid.
Yeah.
If you choose trick, you will choose something with 2.8 out of 10 on IMDb.
What the fuck? I didn't know IMDb could go that low.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking. So you might think that this is some elaborate double bluff. You might think that there's more to it, and that could lead you to choosing trick. And I just want to be abundantly clear that if you choose trick, you only have yourself to blame. So with all of that, Sean, trick or treat?
This is hell. You're starting off so strong, Rem.
Sean, I am starting off possibly the most charitable I have ever been. All right, I'm being honest. I'm being transparent. I am offering you a very good choice. Like, honestly, I don't know what more I could provide to you.
Okay. Well, Remington, if I trust in the heart of the cards and believe with my soul of souls that you're being honest with me, the only choice that makes sense to make is, Remington, could I please have a treat just for me?
Of course you can, Sean. Of course. You've selected treat, and let me tell you, that's obviously the right choice. That is so clearly the right choice. So, Sean, today for the first day of April Fools 2024, you're going to be watching The Nightmare Before Christmas. Of course, how could it be anything different?
Oh, thank God. Holy shit. Oh.
On this beautiful day where the stars have aligned, how could it be anything but The Nightmare Before Christmas? And so, Sean, you know, everybody knows Nightmare Before Christmas, an
Yeah.
old 90s classic, beautiful stop motion, great performances, great world building. I mean, it's a marvel that holds up today.
Yeah, like it's of the Disney properties that are, you know, in the top tier and the most excited that everybody in our demographic seems to enjoy. Nightmare Before Christmas is always up there, and like it's one of those movies that you can watch multiple times without getting super sick of it. As long as you don't watch it constantly for 24 hours in a row, which
Hey, that would be hellish. It would be a nightmare for anybody to do that to you for any movie.
yeah. It would be akin to torture, I would say. Like
That would be crazy. Hey, by the way, once again, if you've not listened to previous 12 Days of April Fools that are up on the Patreon, you should. But we're not dealing with that. We're dealing with Nightmare Before Christmas. You know the deal. Jack Skellington, the king himself of Halloween Town, he learns a little bit about Christmas. He learns about Christmas and he thinks, oh my God, this is something special. This is something neat. Halloween is amazing, but Christmas is amazing too. What if I bring the Christmas to Halloween? All sorts of hijinks ensue, chaos unfolds, and things go from there. And Sean, I'm a good friend. That's not the only treat you're getting.
what?
I have got you a gift.
A gift.
Well, it's not Halloween without some Halloween candy, Sean.
Okay.
So genuinely, in your house right now is a big bag of Halloween candy.
What? There is?
You're damn right there is, Sean, because I wanted to give you a proper treat if that's what you chose, and thank God you did.
Okay. Where is it?
Right now, Dylan has it, but you can just you can ask him for the candy. He'll give you the big bag of candy.
Okay.
But there is one minor thing, Sean.
Yeah.
So obviously, like, look, we're on a bit of a shoestring budget.
No.
No, it's like fine candy. Don't worry. We didn't like fuck up the candy or anything. We didn't, but we also don't want to be like wasteful or anything.
Yeah.
I want you to like really treat yourself, right?
Okay.
Because I feel like I've been generous. I feel like I'm being kind. And I feel like it would be like disrespectful to me, Dylan. It'd be wasteful, both of the candy and in finances if you didn't. So like you're gonna have the candy, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you got me a treat, yeah, I'm gonna have the candy.
You're not just gonna like take one piece of candy and then be like, okay, I tried the candy, and then like forget about it and leave a bunch of candy there for like a long time or anything.
No, that would be wasteful and very reminiscent of childhood Sean, with his big sacks full of candy. But yeah, no.
Do you promise?
Yeah, I promise to eat the candy.
Okay, perfect. I do want to make sure that you follow that promise to treat yourself, and so I am going to require you to have 50% of the candy in the runtime of Nightmare Before Christmas.
What?
I just want to make sure that we're not being wasteful, that you're properly treating yourself, that like you're experiencing it like with the Halloween glory. Imagine you've just gone like trick-or-treating, you got a bunch of candy, you're watching your favorite movie and you're chowing down. Like, I want to give you that experience, and that's not going to happen if you don't have a bunch of candy.
Rem, how big is this bag?
It's a bag of Halloween candy.
Yes, but Rem, a bag of Halloween candy can range from, just a little thing of like Hershey bars, how cute is that? To the giant jumbo mixed bags of like 5 different candies that are as big as my head.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd say it's a bag of candy. It's as if, I would say it's a similar amount of candy as what you'd get trick-or-treating. I wanted you to have the experience.
Rem.
Right, I'm treating you!
Right, but Rem, I'm a grown-ass man. I don't know if I can eat that much candy anymore.
What do you mean you're a grown-ass man? That means you should be able to eat even more than you used to be able to. And you did promise. And so I'm hold you to that promise. If you break that promise, I don't know, man. I might be a little upset, and that might show itself in the future days.
Oh no.
You don't need to eat all of it, just like 50%. Just 50%, and then I'd be satisfied. And so when you're going to watch the movie, just ask Dylan for your candy. He will set the timer to make sure. And he'll come check on it, weigh it. And
weigh it?
Well, yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to shortchange you, right? I don't want to have to like try to guesstimate or stuff. I don't want you to be stressed trying to measure like, have I got exactly 50% of the candy or anything? I don't want that to be concern for you. So Dylan will handle that. He's weighed it before, he'll weigh it after, and we'll just be able to check exactly how much you have through the runtime of Nightmare Before Christmas. And you promise, so you're going to keep your promise, and it's all going to be okay. And when you keep your promise, we'll keep the momentum going, and it'll probably just be another good thing for day 2.
Okay.
It's just that easy. Things are going well. I don't know why Sean, I feel like you're less enthusiastic than I thought you would be, because I'm giving you like the Halloween experience, and it feels like that's not being appreciated right now.
Look, I appreciate the kind gesture, Rem. I just don't want diabetes.
Hey man, that doesn't sound like the Halloween spirit. Diabetes is the name of the spirit of Halloween future, all right? That's just how it goes. That's the way it's always been. And don't worry, I instructed Dylan to only get the finest bag, all right? So they should be high quality sweets. It won't be any trash.
Wait a minute.
I trust
Wait
his
a
judgment.
fucking minute.
Look,
Wait.
you're looking for a twist. They're fine sweets. They're high quality sweets.
No,
Probably.
no.
I genuinely, I don't know what he got.
No, I remember something unfortunate. I was so out of it because we had just finished playing a fucking tabletop session that was incredibly intense. But Dylan took me to Smith's afterward and we were examining the Halloween candy and he bought a bag for himself saying like, I'm an adult, I can treat myself. I'm like, you know what, Dylan, you're right. You can do that. I won't be doing that, but you can, and that's good. That's good. Are you trying to tell me that he was like subtly trying to get me to pick my own bag of candy?
I mean, I don't know if that's the case, but if that is, that should be even better for you then.
Oh, God. Okay. All
I'm
right.
just saying, Sean, I have given you nothing but good things for the first today.
This is true.
And so we're starting off well. We're starting off good. It's if the previous 12 Days of April Fools, they've not had such a benevolent start. And so I don't know. I was kind of thinking like a thank you might be in order.
Thank you for the movie, Rem, and thank you for the candy. I guess
You're very welcome, Sean.
I guess I had better find Dylan.
Well, happy April Fools, Merry Christmas, and Happy Halloween. Let's go watch The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Hey, Anime Out of Context fans, it's the start of the Christmas season, and this time, we're encouraging Rem to watch some anime for the birds. The series we'll be asking Rem to watch is A Certain Scientific Railgun Season 2, up to Episode 6. Help us convince Rem and Sean into doing this anime by changing your Patreon name to end in Says Misaka for the Christmas episode in December, which will be dropping on December 19th for patron members and December 21st for everyone else. Every patron name changed to mention Says Misaka will result in friend of the show Farmer Weeb donating $5 to the Tracy Aviary. And this year's bonus challenge is a wrestling knowledge quiz for Remington. Farmer Weeb will double his donation to $10 per patron name change if Remington correctly gets 10 answers right in a row. Does Remington know wrestling, or will he disappoint the birds in charitable donations? We'll find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back after watching the 1993 hit stop-motion film, The Nightmare Before Christmas. What a lovely treat! What an abundance of treats! And Sean, did it bring you back to that childhood feeling of watching a delightful movie on Halloween, gorging on your splendor of candy?
Rem, I threw up.
So that sounds like a yes, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if there's if there's a more universal experience than getting a fuck ton of candy on Halloween, eating more than you should because you're like, holy shit, so much candy. And usually your parents at some point are like, hey, don't fucking do that. And you're like, what do they know? And then you suffer.
Yeah, here's the thing, Rem. I weirdly had self-control as a child when it came to my candy, because I was worried I'd run out. So I never got to the eating candy to puking stage, as far as my memory is concerned. And I'm here to tell you, man, Skittles do not taste good coming up. It tastes like pure acid and pain. And I was fucking miserable. Because, motherfucker, you made me eat a literal half pound of candy.
Yeah, well, hey, you know, I just thought that I wanted to treat you, and I wanted to make sure you were treating yourself. And I will say, we have the measurements as measured by none other than Dylan. The bag initially weighed 607 grams, and you ate, and so only 299 grams remained. You ate over half of it.
Yeah.
You ate over half the candy, which I'm gonna level with you, Sean. I didn't predict.
You son of a bitch!
I'm gonna level with you. I didn't think that was gonna happen.
Motherfucker, I made it happen.
You made it happen.
and I hate myself for it. I'm in pain. I feel like I am like just over the edge. I'm gonna start needing to invest in insulin soon. Like it's gonna. God, I never want to see another fucking Skittle for as long as I live.
We'll go over what that means for for a different one of the 12 days in a little bit, but for now, let's talk about the movie Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, no, we can talk about the movie. Normally I'd be super enthused and excited about this movie because it's a great movie. It's one of the classics. I'm a spooky fan myself, and I love anything that is spooky adjacent. Every time I've gone to Disneyland in the Halloween time, it's been a grand old time because they redo the Haunted Mansion like Nightmare Before Christmas, and that's a nice, fun little change. You know, it's a great movie. It's well animated. The score is amazing. The story is simple but timeless.
I also think something that's in its favor. So, like, very obviously, even just from the title, you can tell that it's celebrating both Halloween and Christmas, right? It's a bit of both. But very importantly, it's not just that it has both in it. It is that it relishes and rejoices in both. You can tell that it's like, hey, look, there's a genuine magic to both Halloween and Christmas, and we are going to emphasize all of it. We're not just going to be like, oh yeah, it's a little spooky, but it's really all about Christmas, or vice versa. It's like, yeah, no, let's go all in on both sides of the equation.
And not to mention that the character dynamics are interesting. Like the little romance between Sally and Jack is also kind of cute. Like, I want somebody that cares about me as much as Sally cares for Jack. I just wish Jack was a bit more caring for her, honestly.
Get it together, Jack. God damn it.
I mean, he does by the end, but, you know, like, a lot of shit would have been avoided if he had listened to her in the first place.
Ain't that the way it goes? Fellas, ain't that the way it goes?
Yeah, and, like, it's hard to just, like, describe what goes on in this movie because it is a lot shorter than you remember, way shorter than I remember due to the fact that I was stuffing my face the whole time.
Well, and I think that, like, some of its power, and probably the reason why it feels in memory longer than it in reality is because it's, like, so evocative, and every single moment is memorable, that it's like, oh yeah, there have to be like plenty of in-between filler moments that are less memorable. Not really. It's like, oh yeah, I remember that vividly. I also remember that vividly. Oh yeah, and then there's this thing that I remember vividly. And it also gestures towards more that you can just continue to imagine in a little mental playground.
And not only that, but it also has all the qualifiers of a good musical.
Yeah?
And what I mean by that is a good musical. You can tell it's a good musical if you can listen to the soundtrack by itself and understand exactly what's happening in the story.
All right, well, Sean, now that you've brought up the music, I have to ask, best song.
Best song. Oh, man.
The number one top song. What is it?
God, it's gonna be so stereotypical, but I love This Is Halloween.
It's such a good one. It's such a good one.
It just, like, every time I hear that song, I just, like, feel immediately in the spooky mood. I've heard so many great covers of it, and, like, it just, it's such a great establishing song.
I also adore Oogie Boogie's song.
Oh yeah, Oogie Boogie song is joke. I think that one's probably one of the most, like, addictive, like, in the brain.
Yeah, Oogie Boogie just as a whole, his character, his vibe, his design, the design of just like his lair.
Yes.
It's so fascinating and unique and compelling.
Yeah, it's a rave casino. Like, what more could you want, really? Like, why they decided to make the boogeyman a sack of bugs with a gambling addiction, I don't know, but I love every decision that was involved with it.
Yeah, it's like, man, what a wild choice, and I love every element of that.
Yeah, and, like, I'm sure for the next week, all I'm going to be thinking about is, I'm the boogeyman. Like, because, like, it's so jazzy, and it sticks in your head that way. also he was kind of being a dick for no real reason. Like he
he is just an asshole.
yeah, like his end goal was to melt down Santa Claus and eat him. Like that was his end goal, and like he didn't need to do that. Like,
look, sometimes you have complex, nuanced, morally gray villains, right? And you're like, oh man, I totally understand them. Other times you're like, I'm gonna fucking eat Santa. Fuck you.
yeah. And it's like, also, this is something that I didn't remember. Oogie Boogie is a foot fetishist. Yeah, that was something I noticed. Look, man, like it never really clicked. But during the scene when Sally is attempting to rescue Santa, she uses her leg separate from her body, like through a crack in the door to like distract Oogie Boogie. And the first thing he does is go over there, take off her shoe, and start tickling her feet.
Yeah.
So, Oogie Boogie is freakier than we thought, gang.
He is a little freak.
And he was absolutely offended when it was just the leg by itself, though. Like that alone was not enough. But
well, yeah, because I do think that say what you want about people with foot fetishes. I don't think they want just the foot. I think they do want more.
Yeah.
I think it's usually like, oh yeah, that foot, and then it leads to more. You're like, hey, and then the leg, and then everything else, bada bing, bada boom. You're not just like, man, I wish that woman was all foot.
Look, man, the internet is a strange place. I'm not here to yuck any yums.
Baby, I don't just have a foot fetish. I'm foot sexual.
Yes. Some people call it a fetish. I call it a fetish.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, hey. Look, man, that's the kind of humor you're going to get from me. I am less than 24 hours from a candy-induced coma, so I'm amazed that I'm even coming up with any goofs whatsoever.
Yeah, I'll say, like, hey, everyone is familiar with Nightmare Before Christmas. If somehow you are not, then obviously you should check it out. Yes. It is impressive on every single front, as well as stop motion is always a fucking miracle to me. It is a goddamn wonder. The level of care and thought and precise detail that goes into it is absolutely mind-boggling.
Yeah, and it's super stylistic as well. Like, it is one of the most stylized films in, like, the Disney lexicon. Like, it's so much so that people don't think of it as a Disney film.
Well,
right?
and Disney was initially, like, kind of, like, worried and embarrassed about it when they first produced it. We're like, all right, here we go. They were like, no, maybe this isn't, like, a quote-unquote Disney film. And then people were like, yo, this is rad. And they're like, hey, you know what this is?
Yeah, it's very much like, wait a minute, goth people love this stuff?
Well, and impressively, not just goth people, but just it is able to despite feeling so strange and evocative and unique and stylistic, it does transcend it's somehow accessible weirdness, right?
Yes.
Which is a rare thing, but when it happens, it's like, okay, modest success, cult classic, to then just being a classic.
Yeah, which is wild. It is delightful in all kinds of ways.
It really feels like it should be one of those things where you're like, oh man, only like cinema nerds are familiar with it, but you need to check it out. There's an alternate history where that is just the case with this movie.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be surprising in the least if that were the reality we were living in, given, just how odd and particular it is. But I am happy that it is such a classic, that it's so beloved and well known.
Yeah, and I mean, the amount of girls I've dated whose like favorite Disney flick was this one, like,
oh yeah.
I don't know if that says more about me than it does about them, but I just know for a fact that it is centric to the people we associate with on a regular basis, and the fact that it reaches far beyond that is amazing. And like, you and I have been to Disney together. We've seen the Nightmare Before Christmas version of the Haunted Mansion. It's a grand old time. I just, oh God, I just wish I didn't have to make myself sick watching it, because now every time I watch it, I'm gonna have the vague memory of Skittles in the back of my throat.
When watching it, you'll taste the rainbow every time. I've just given you a bit of synesthesia through the experience, you know?
Yeah.
I gave you a little... Now you got the rainbow, you got the visuals of the movie, you got the Skittles taste, you got the songs in the audio, you got a little bit of everything.
I had to develop a fucking strategy, Rem. I had to develop a strategy to consume that candy, because what we got was what claimed to be a mixed bag of 35 individual packaged things of candy. A mixture of original Skittles, wild berry Skittles, giant gummy lifesavers, and normal gummy lifesavers. And let me tell you right now, at first I was like, well, maybe if I do an even balance of the gummy and the Skittle, it'll be fine. Every time I ate a gummy, I felt immediately worse. So I quickly had to pivot to just Skittles, and primarily only Skittles, with the occasional lifesaver to, like, I don't know, give me some variety. Because while there may be a bunch of different flavors between the two brands of Skittles there, they all start to blend together real quick when you're just shoving them all in your mouth as quickly as possible, because you only have 78 fucking minutes to get them down. It was not good. It was not good. And I sent you a picture of the remains of what was left, and this is the first time I've ever been more pissed off to get more of something in a bag than ever. Because, yeah, that bag that said, 35 individual bits of candy for you. No, motherfucker, there were 38 in that bag.
A little extra treat.
It was absolute hell. And genuinely, like, as the credits were rolling, I had like 3 minutes left on the clock. I stumbled out of my room with the bag in hand, being like, Dylan, please weigh it right now so I can know if I can be done.
Oh, so good. So good. But, before we conclude, I do want one more thing to happen in this episode. Because with Nightmare Before Christmas, of course, he ends up visiting Christmas and going through that holiday world. I want to do just like a little quick imagining with you, a little thought exercise of what it would have been like if he had gone to the other holiday worlds. What those holiday worlds would have looked like, and what the movie then would have looked like, right?
Well, look, if he went into the Shamrock door, he would have just gotten shit-faced on Guinness and weirdly green-colored beer, and, like, it would just be a very sad movie.
No, see, I think it could have been sad, but I think if he goes to the St. Patrick's Day door, I'm thinking Shaun of the Dead, but from the spooky perspective. Right?
Oh, I see.
He shows up, there's a bunch of drunks celebrating and stuff. They get horrified, fucked up. A little Shaun of the Dead and Dale and Tucker sort of combine those. And so Jack Skellington is just like, oh, is this what we're doing? And they're like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? And that's the kind of movie I think that would have been. And I think that could have been pretty decent.
It definitely would have had a higher age rating, that's for certain.
Oh, yeah, well, undeniably. That's okay. That we don't have to assume that these are all going to be Disney.
Yeah, because, like, I know the Valentine's Day door is going to be, ooh.
Is that one just, does it just turn into a porn?
I think it might. I think it might, honestly.
Like, he learns a bunch of things. He creates some Halloween-themed sex toys, brings them back to Sally.
He learns the meaning of a boner. Because he's a skeleton.
You would 100% have some gags of like Lock, Shock, and Barrel blowing up a condom like a huge balloon.
Because, they're kids. They don't understand.
Yeah, just doing shit like that. I think that might be okay, but not quite what I'm looking for here. So
Thanksgiving would be a wild one, I feel like.
I think with Thanksgiving, Jack Skellington would find himself in a family drama. a tense Thanksgiving where at first it's like, oh, family being brought together, and he's like, oh, wait, the family, they're always happy together, and then it shows like, oh no, that's not how it always works at all. Lots of arguments ensue, and
it's gonna be the plot of Krampus, just Thanksgiving instead of Christmas.
yeah,
because everybody saw Krampus, right? It wasn't just us.
I think right now my rankings: St. Patrick's Day, Thanksgiving, then Valentine's Day. What about Easter? This one I struggle with.
Yeah, because like the implication with Easter is that it's going to be the silly eggs and candy and rabbits and such. But I like the world where he stumbles upon the hyper-Christian aspect of it.
He opens a door and it's just, he shows up at the crucifixion of Christ.
What's this?
What's this? Centurions everywhere. What's this? Riots in the square.
And then there's just a rabbit in the background just watching the whole thing unfold, being like, man, this would be some great with some eggs.
Yeah,
it would have to be a dark comedy. It would have to be the darkest of comedies.
Yeah, and then he comes back to Halloween Town and is like, have you heard of Jesus? And he would focus on like the grotesque side of things. Right?
Yeah.
He'd be like, oh, you wouldn't believe the horrific shit this guy's doing. It's crazy.
We gotta try some of it. Have you, hey, look, there's this thing called crucifixion.
And they'd be like, oh my God, that's horrific. That's so cool, Jack. And he's like, I know.
If anything, it would inspire him to do more Halloween stuff rather than make him want to do Easter instead.
Yeah, like, oh my God, yeah. So he'd be like, I see why they worship this guy. That is terrifying. That's my favorite idea.
And they wear the symbol of the thing that he was killed on.
Oh, this is great. This is so good. That's all right. That's now above St. Patrick's Day for me, right?
Yeah, I figured it might do.
Then we have Independence Day. We could go the historical route again, or it just turns into Hamilton.
I mean, it is just Hamilton plus skeleton. I feel like that is kind of what we're doing here.
Just a Tim Burton Hamilton.
Yeah.
I don't know what that exactly would look like. I'm interested. I'm curious.
Yeah. Hey, Lin-Manuel Miranda, if you're listening to this, reach out. Let us know. Let us know what your thoughts are.
I know a lot of people, in the years that have passed have soured a bit on Hamilton, but I think A Nightmare Before Christmas, Tim Burton-y Hamilton crossover, I don't know what that looks like, but I'm wildly curious, and so I'm down. I'm down to try it. Yeah. That's going in my second or third spot, but I think Easter is in that top spot.
Yeah. Just picture Jack getting a copy of the Bible and talking about all the horrific stories that are within.
Oh God, he gets a Bible, and he just views it as like the greatest like Stephen King or Lovecraftian anthologies. Like, oh my God, yeah. Dude, that's such a good premise. It's so good. Genuinely, you could make something like that. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to use Jack Skellington, strictly speaking, but something along these lines, that could work. That could genuinely be both hilarious and high quality. Yeah, it turns out I want The Nightmare Before Easter. That's my top spot.
No, I'm here for it too, honestly.
We're in agreement.
It seems like it has the most room to be the most creative and hilarious. Like, just the blackest of comedies.
God, so good, so good. Well, I think that about wraps it up. Anything else you'd like to add about the movie or any other holidays you'd like to see Jack explore?
I had some dark jokes pop up into my head, but I'm gonna not make them. Because that's not me.
This is a good Christian podcast, just like Jack Skellington.
Like, look, just because some people treat specific tragedy days as holidays these days doesn't mean we should embellish them with Jack Skellington trying to figure out what's going on. So instead, my advice is eat candy sparingly, and don't only eat Skittles, because you'll throw up and it won't be good. It will be a bad time. The toilet won't be rainbow, I'll tell you that much. It'll be weirdly brown, and that's not good.
And I will say, so I was. Some might say I had set you up to fail. Some might say that. Some might accuse me of that.
Yeah, because you gave an arbitrary half a bag standard when you had no idea how big the bag was.
And knowing your culinary and eating habits, it just, a lot of people would have said the odds were against you and that there was no chance it was going to happen. And that I might have used that as a justification to punish you on day 2. And those people might say that, oh, well, that means Remington has to radically change his plans towards a day 2. But no, Sean, I was always planning on showing you something good on day 2. I was never planning on punishing you. That would be ridiculous. I totally didn't need to change my plans so that you aren't faced with heinous shit day 2. The other days, well, we'll see how that goes. But day 2, I'll even tell you what I removed. It's during the 12 days you were going to watch a movie called Witchmas, which single reviewer said was a ripoff of Nightmare Before Christmas, but wasn't even really that. It was just the shittiest, bad everything, low quality, worse than student film nonsense. But it's removed from the list. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen anymore.
Okay, small blessings.
Worry not, dear listeners. There's still going to be 11 days of astoundingly high quality, unique, interesting content. Who knows what Sean is in for, and also who knows when he throws up that reverse Uno card. Even I am a little bit afeared. But with all that being said, Sean, would you ever want to watch some more Nightmare Before Christmas with me? Perhaps with a nice bowl of candy.
If it's not Skittles, then yes.
Fantastic. And now, future us, do the outro bit, because we can't. We sort of just can't right now.
Yeah, no, hey, spoiler alert, we're recording this in the distant past.
We're recording, it's 2019 right now, actually.
Yeah, we planned this out way in advance.
Way in advance.
Yeah.
But yeah, so blah, 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 future us. Don't fuck your sister and whatnot, and go to the Patreon for more April Fools.
Eat a vegetable. Huh. Since this is an April Fool's episode, does that mean I have to read everything?
Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, it would.
Fuck.
Yeah, so pull it up. Hey, it's Sean and Remington from the future.
Yeah.
From the future of when you heard. That was past us. Now it's us. Here to do patron readings, which once again, you should be a part of if you want to listen to the other 11 days.
Yes. And for those who feel bad that they can't join us, that's okay. We understand. Not everybody has money to spare, but if you do and want bonus content, come on over. Don't
feel bad if you can't be a patron, but feel great if you are one.
Because you get a lot of that what is it the kids say, bone cone?
Excuse me?
Bonus content?
Pardon me, sir?
I'm pretty sure that's what they call it.
Hey, I won't yuck your yum.
Oh, it has nothing to do with me. It's what the kids are into these days, Rem.
See, this is the issue. We're literally just recording a patron reading right now. We're we're in podcast space because that's what we do. But we just need we just need to do the goddamn patron reading.
Yeah, and unfortunately, being the way that we are, we're like, oh, it's time to get the goofs and the gaffs out. But
all right, so Sean, who do we have to thank this week?
Yep. As always, we want to send our regards to our bland bitch protagonists and magical girls. But moving on, we have our yandere waifus to thank, who have been quite frequently force-feeding us candy until we get sick. And on that list, we have Patreon being buggy. Okay, there we go. See, it's always interesting, because whenever I do it, it's always in order, like alphabetical order, and you do reverse alphabetical order. But that's okay. Starting with, show Rem a certain scientific railgun, you cunt, says Misaka. I will be on episode 341, look behind you. That's genuinely terrifying, and the only thing behind me right now is a small stack of instant yakisoba noodles. So that's...
Well, but who knows? That'll be next week.
Oh, next
Sean.
week. Next week. Okay, I'm sorry. A moe piece of trash, Aisha Gaji, AJ Tunnels, and every day that Raven comes to visit, says Misaka. April Fools, 12 days full, torture everywhere, each day Rem shows up something new, Sean moans in despair. Oh, that's to a song, I assume. A song that I butchered, but that's okay. Bento Kato, Bitter Dolce, Blackout Drunk Before Butt Stuff, says Misaka, okay. Blake Star, Boring Siren, Rock Hard for Geodudes, that's right, this is what you get, my super laser piss. Cat girls are best girls, give them cute little paws. Cheese Monkey. Comrade JC. Cut myself and scream for their insanity. I assume that's another song. Daddy Rem, tell me a bedtime story. Daniel Riots. Diana Madrid says Mikasa. Okay. Don't shock the hamster, says Mikasa. Mikasa? Not Misaka. Misaka, my Christ. I don't know how many times.
It'll be all right.
It'll be fine.
It'll
be fine. Mildly dyslexic. It's okay. Alicia and the Bears say Misaka. Episode 340 for Jack Skellington Rule 34 predicts Misaka. Well, hey.
Well, hey.
Hey, nice. Well, kind of. Erica McCorkle, fan-tied. Farmer Beep wants Rem to do it for the birds, says Misaka. Glenn Michael Dolan, how would you feel about the Flowers of Evil, Shawnee boy? Sorry for the mix-up. I'm curious what you think about it. He would think it's an anime. I can't believe I made an account for this. I hatched a baby chick and named it Sean's Dinner. I beg your pardon. I have heard what is happening. Looks like it's finally my turn, says Misaka, appearing with superb timing. I will never get more Ace of Diamond Now I Cry. If we watch season 2 of Railgun, Sean will finally be able to explain the abundance of Misaka's reasons Misaka bribing outright. I'm ready for the 12 Chodes of Christmas, says Misaka. And see, look, this one backfired because I'm doing the one reading the Patreon reads. In Sean voice, this episode brought to you by Ray. No, not happening. Not even as a joke. Not happening. Thank you for your patronage. Fuck off. We love you. We love you very much. But we have standards. Jake Dent, Jam Hands, Jax. Joining for Chuckle Fuckmas, says Misaka. Casty, Leonard 98. Let's get Rem health insurance, 0001, says Misaka. Link Jokerl. Lucky Stars, the King of Moe, Macaroni or Cheese, ha. Making fake mail accounts so I can rate Forest Fire 5, 10 out of 10. Mikeka 7 Hierto. My favorite dinosaur is a Triceratops. Nichi Bros before Ho, says Misaka. Paco El Musico. Problem Child, Professor Fox. Raptor King and the birds are waiting, says Misaka. Rem can slap my mommy milkers and Shuan can watch. Don't know who Shuan is, but I'm sure they'll enjoy it. Rem doesn't completely hate my favorite shows. Rem hit rock bottom, is still on top of Sean. Rem uses the drums of liberation to free all weebs from bad anime. Remington is right. Remington, the deer uses the Deer Crackers of Liberation, Rhiannon Williams, Ross Palmer, Seraphim the Shark plushie. Sean keeps asking to suck my toes, says Mikasa. Now that one actually does say
Wow.
Mikasa. That's not on me. Sean ruined my happy sugar life when he fucked birds and fucked bad, says Misaka. Huh. Sean
Checks out.
I categorically doesn't. Sean, when was the last time you gave milk to your kappa? Would you believe that's a reference to something, Rem?
I mean, it has to be.
It'll be interesting when we cover that. Sean shows Rem Kaguya-sama dubbed in My Life Is Yours. Sean wants to give the Spoon Man a thank and yank. Some random loser, Stacy's mom, Super Zoo, Turban. That smut has no place in fairy tales, 100 girlfriends. The bird's name is Cat, Misaka says, bemused at her own joke. The capybara says, Daddy Sean, you nasty dog, slap my little rodent behind. Are they extra horny this week?
Nah, no, you just enter a fugue state when I read them usually.
Usually. Okay. The Danish Viking will conquer the world with Roar Nor Zoro as my navigator. Flying Spaghetti Monster, Spoon Man's Thousand Island Stare. God, slip of the tongues are always funny. Susanator, Titan CNH, Towaru Nerd, Totally Good, I assume, GUD. Variant, Waffles not included, watching Requiem for a Spoon Man at 0.5 speed. We're skipping season 1 to meet the sister, says Misaka. Welcome to Anime in Full and Complete Context, the show where Wes Kane, where's our DBZ review? Where's our DBZ review, you ginger fuck? Wolfire 56, Yandere Neko, Yokeling Hokel, 010. Sean, don't cheat on me with Judy, says Misaka. Okay, it makes me wonder how many of these Misakas are actually familiar with the show.
I mean, they don't need to. They just need to support the birds.
It's
all
true.
right, that's what they're there
It's
for.
true. I like adults. I'm just going to say that right now. All right. But moving on up to the Boy Wizard tier, where this week to celebrate April Fools coming in on Halloween and Christmas, because God knows how that fucking happens. Remington.
No, see, in this bit, now I'll decide, but then you'll decide for the inappropriate Joey Wheeler, you see.
Oh, I see. That's right. It's backwards. Okay, then take over. Take over.
Each of our lovely Boy Wizards, they're gonna get a big bag of a single kind of Halloween candy.
So you're just giving everybody a single Halloween candy under the guise that it's going to be delivered in a large bag.
No, it's gonna be full, but it's not gonna be a variety bag or anything.
How's that different from what I said?
Well, no, because you're implying that there's only going to be one candy there, and there's many of a single kind of candy.
You know what? Sure. Sure.
And I do expect them to finish half of that bag of candy by the time we're done with patron readings, so good luck.
You mean in approximately 5 minutes from now?
Hey, start chowing down, baby!
Starting with All Father is helping Farmer Weeb support the birds, says Misaka, changing All Father's patron name for an entire month.
You get Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Also, you get the big hole.
Twix.
See, it's weird. It's weird being on the receiving end of that, isn't it?
and especially because, in my mind, that one's one of the later ones.
Exactly. I was hoping that would catch you off guard.
It did.
Animated Z.
Snickers.
Beethoven 12 of the 1.
Kit Kat.
Blood Cell thinking about changing its name to Power Cell, but is worried about the mitochondria joke, says Misaka.
Butterfinger.
Butler Rat heard someone say Misaka wants Railgun S2 for the birds, but also Carl Vincent is one of the banger of a goddamn name, Mackenzie. I assume there might be more down the line, but hey, I assume that's compliments to Mackenzie of Animates, so there you are.
$100,000.
Carver 271.
Well, you must be Sean because you are Mr. Goodbar.
Wait. What's the implication of that, Rem?
You got a good bar, Sean.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Crimson Reapers just because of the sides?
Crunch.
Hi, Sean. I'm still waiting for the first 5 episodes of Zoid's New Century.
Reese's Pieces.
Hopping on the Monogatari train because why not? I'm afraid that train isn't leaving the station quite yet.
Hershey.
If you hate Twitter, then be sure to follow Anime Con Pod on Blue Sky for all podcast and Twitch updates. I still find it hilarious that somebody sniped those usernames from us.
It is very good. Have they
Fucked with us? No.
have they like posted?
They've mostly liked and retweeted my tweets on Blue Sky.
Oh, I mean they are doing
What we would do.
what we would do. Honestly, that's fine.
It's just as long as they don't claim to be doing anything super heinous, you know?
That's real good. Starbursts.
It's December and time for the sisters, says Misaka as Misaka decorates the tree.
Heath.
It's time for the last order, says Misaka as Misaka nods in agreement.
Tootsie Rolls.
It's your boy Skinny Peanuts.
M&M's.
Miguel Delion.
Baby Ruth.
Mike.
Twizzlers.
Misaka is a regulation listener that used to listen to Face Jam but now listens to 100% Eat, says Misaka.
Junior Mints.
Misaka thinks Rem needs to watch Railgun S, says Misaka as Misaka nods in agreement.
Gummies.
Misaka thinks Sean will want to show Railgun S after April Fool, says Misaka while Misaka runs around.
Payday.
Monogatari has everything you said you like in anime this week. Stylish and interesting weird shit from the studio Shaft.
Skittles.
Nightshade is exhausted. Please let me sleep.
Well, you must be many of Sean because you get nerds.
Okay. All right. Roscop.
Laffy Taffy.
Scourge, best $20 spent, LMAO.
Milky Way.
Silent Secondary.
Milk Duds.
Spiritually, I'm the feel-good ink laugh, says Misaka.
Whoppers.
Spooky, scary, Samike sees you shiver with anticipation.
Blow Pops.
Spoonman the Aristocrat.
Ruds.
That Mouse Girl.
Sour Patch Kids.
The Strange Man gives up and apologizes to Tails.
Jolly Ranchers.
Truck Kun Operator number 42.
Airheads.
Umbrasite.
The Big Hole.
Weak Some Shit asking for a Darling in the Franks.
White chocolate everything.
Hey, don't worry, Rem. Only one left. Whoops, I forgot to change my username for a month and called Sean a cuck for a month.
You get candy corn.
Oh, poor bastard. Like, not that I'm a candy corn hater. It's just like there's so much better.
It's true.
But moving on above and beyond to our inappropriate Joey Wheeler tier, where this special week, Remington is going to give a fuck. See, I spent time prepping for the first.
I can't. You can't prostitute me out like that, Sean. You son of a bitch. You get 1 ounce of control this episode and all of a fucking sudden.
Yes, everybody in this tier gets 1 Remington fuck. Redeemable in person if you ever run into him. There you go.
Look, they're gonna need to have a conversation with my girlfriend first. Like that, there's some red tape involved in this,
and the red tape is whether or not she can watch us. Or is that a privilege only allowed to me specifically?
I haven't asked her. I don't think it's ever come up.
How strange. I feel like it should have by now. Okay, where this week. Remington is going to give, as Joey Wheeler, is going to give me 2 candies, and the combination of which will tell me exactly how you plan to spend this holiday season.
All right. You want to read the first name there, Bucko?
Yes, I do. I got distracted by my dice that were on my desk.
God damn it.
Can you tell I forgot my meds today?
Oh, fuck.
It's okay. Starting with Dark Swarm 713 says Misaka.
You are gonna get some good and plenty and Jolly Rancher.
Now, you might think that you're gonna have the most beneficial charitable Christmas out there. And you'd be correct, because you're gonna be a nice person, donate to a charity of your choice, and just sing its praises.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Next up is, hey, Sean, get off the car, kick his chain, get him wet, lift up your toes in his mouth. Jesus Christ, Ozzy.
You're gonna get the combination of Swedish Fish and Hershey's Kiss.
Okay, so this holiday season, you're gonna, it's the holiday season. Do I give them what they want? Yeah, fuck it, why not? You're going to get a, lovely rendezvous with, a lovely aquarium rendezvous. How about that? You know, spend the holiday season with some fish. There you go. With the person of your desires. And finally, radio.
You're gonna get a Werther's Original combined with Strawberry Pocky.
What the fuck is wrong with you, Ram?
Hey man, you're the one who has to figure out how to interpret that shit.
Exactly. That's why I'm asking. Okay. All right. Werther's with Pocky. You're gonna spend the holidays abroad with your grandparents, assuming they're alive. If they're not, well, best get to trying to figure out some grandkids. And once again, thank you all so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, you can email us at animeoutofcontext@gmail.com. You could reach out to us on Twitter, but man, is it a shithole right now. At AnimeConPod.
Or reach out to whoever is
on our Blue Sky, because someone sniped our name on Blue Sky, which is very funny.
It ain't us, but you can talk to him.
You can talk to him. Like, I can't guarantee what they'll say, but you can definitely talk to them.
Have a very happy 12 days of April Fool's Christmas and Halloween, ladies and gentlemen, and as always, don't fuck your sister.
Do 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 do.